Hey, get in here.
Hey, you!
No, get in our room.
Yeah, you, come here.
Come in.
Come on, get in our room.
Author of 11 prurient books from the Sinful to the Holi-date-ish series, each story leaves a crest of your thighs aching and your mind considering, would I like that? She's the master of comedy and pulp culture references with a sultry twist, and men that care for themselves while providing you all the aftercare. We welcome Trilina Pucci to our room.
Hey,
Thank you, Trilina, for joining us, for being our roommate today.
happy to be here.
So you just celebrated a birthday, right? A
Yeah,
couple days ago?
yeah. It kind of lasts the whole month though, because I'm a little bit crazy on my birthday. So we start I start getting presents like the first week, so I get them weekly from my mother. She just sends me like weekly gifts, and then I just lean in to like all the celebration all the time. So it's been going since Thursday. So my birthday is on Thursday, and we've been just going since Thursday.
I love that. And it coincides with your new book coming out soon.
Yeah, that's kind of the only that's the only downfalls. The book has to take like a backseat to my birthday. I should be hustling it harder, but instead I just want to talk about my birthday. Yeah. I like it. Yes, but I'm
Good.
not so lucky coming out
Good.
July 3rd, everyone. Go pick up a copy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on pre-order right now, right?
It is. It's on pre-order on Amazon for the ebook, and the audio goes live, and the you can pre-order your paperback on Barnes and Noble right now.
Perfect. Very good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we are so excited to have you here with us today. I found you through the Tangled in Tinsel book, and it's just kind of a funny story. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning. Bobby can attest that I'm kind of like a morning person. And I
Mhm.
hopped on TikTok, and some girl was like, who would even read a book about like getting snowed in with 4 men? And I was like,
I mean,
I would.
I feel like we could all be here. We could all be here for that.
So that's how I found that book, and then I forced everybody I know to read it.
Including
Hey,
me.
listen, it was a fun holiday treat. You know what I mean? Like it was just meant to be like something fun and steamy. Like don't take it too seriously. The holidays are already serious enough as is usually. So I wanted something like fun for everybody to just like we could all like laugh and have a good time. And
Yeah.
and it's just steamy. I mean, the entire plot is Samantha. She's the plot. Like that's it.
That was one thing I noticed a little bit of a difference between Tangled and Not So Lucky is that there's a little bit
One has a
more.
plot, one doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I mean, listen, I was pretty transparent. I believe in being like super transparent with your, marketing and stuff, but I was super transparent about Tangled and Tinsel. It was exactly what it was supposed to be. Like it was like Pornhub meets Hallmark. Like there was nothing there weren't like people were like, I don't want to do spoilers. And I was like, there's no spoiler, guys. We know exactly what we're getting. Like they're snowed in for a weekend. It lasts for the weekend. Like there's nothing there aren't, nobody's falling in love. Like this is just like what? So I was like, it's fine. It's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. Like, but this one obviously has a little bit more of a plot. But it's a fun summer read. Like, I feel like you should take things into context. Like, I wrote a book that was like super plot, like heavy and, really angsty and like blah, blah, blah. And it was like, 400, 500 pages long, right? Like, we had character arcs like nobody's business, like whatever. But this isn't that. This is just supposed to be fun for the summer. It's a good time, guys. We're just having a good time over here. Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was reading.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I was reading it on the airplane and like literally cackling out loud. It's truly funny. It is truly funny, and the
I'm glad.
pop culture references are flawless.
There are people that hate pop culture references, but I think that it's just because people do them wrong. You know what I mean? Like, because in conversation, people do pop culture references all the time, especially with the invention of TikTok now. Like, people drop them in their conversation all the time. And so, but if you don't do them right, or they're just there for like just there to be there, then it doesn't have the same effect. You know what I mean? Like you have to put it in right when it's funny or when it has the most like relatable meaning, so everybody is in on the joke.
Yeah.
So That's my thought. Anyway.
And what did you do before you started writing? Before you got into...
I was a professional dancer.
Professional dancer?
Yeah, people always have that face. That's so funny. Yeah, I was a professional dancer for like when I was like 17 to like 26, 7, something like that. And then after that I got injured and I couldn't tour anymore, and so then I had to stay. And I did like I taught, so I went and taught at like the Nevada Ballet Theater, or like I did a lot of choreography for like in LA for like Nickelodeon, or like the MTV Movie Awards I was on, or like all that kind of stuff. Like I did stuff like that, Disney, stuff like that. Not Disneyland, but like the actual Disney Channel, like their shows and stuff. And then I taught like pre-professional kids for the longest time. And then my body got tired, and I had kids, and I didn't want to I was gone a lot, and they hated it. So, because when you leave to do choreography, you have to go, you know. So they hated it, and I hated it too because I like them a lot. And so then I decided, fuck it, maybe I'll just like stick around and do something else. So I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll write a book. How hard can it be? Because I'm that kind of person. How hard can it be? And so I did it, and it sold. I don't know how it happened. Like, honestly, it wasn't like I'm not like, oh, she's the most, you know, the pros is like, I was like, I want to write a book and see if it's fun. It sounded like a good time. It sounded creative, like an outlet. And I tried it. Oh no, some people bought it. And I was like, should I do this for real? And then I wrote another one, and more people bought it. And I was like, fuck, what's happening right now? It's fucking amazing. And then I just I kept writing them, and I was like, people just keep fucking buying this shit. Like, that's incredible. I like it. You know what I mean? No other people like it, but they do. Yeah. And then by the time I got to I wrote 3 Mafia books. Really 4, but the first one's unpublished now because it was shit. Like, it was my first book, and it had 170 fucking exclamation points. Like, nobody's that excited to speak. You know what I mean? Like, everybody was like, hey, like, everybody was really excited. I was like, that's dumb. So I just unpublished it. One day I'll fix it when I have time, and I'll put it back. Because the story was solid, but the writing was sus. So I was like, well, and I worked really hard on becoming a better writer. But, you know, sometimes through you get better as you go too. Like, the more you write, the better you get. So, because you can also hire better editors too. So there's that.
So did you self-publish your first book then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what happens. I couldn't tell you how to recreate. I have no clue. It was just literally it was like a Forrest Gump moment. I don't know how suddenly I walked through a door and I was at the White House. You know what I mean? I don't know how how that happened. I just I wrote it. I researched the covers, and I was like, well, everybody's got some guy with some variation of abs on the cover, so I got to do that. So I went and hired. So I looked in the back of a book. I don't remember whose book it was. I looked at the back of the book, and I found there was this one designer that kept showing up in the backs of a lot of books. And so I went and hired them to do the cover, and it was a romantic suspense. And I put it out, and I was like, my parents will buy it. This is so exciting. My family will buy it. And they did. They all did. And I was super stoked. And I remember getting the book in the mail, and I was like, it's so long. There's so many words. It's going to be a thick bitch, right? And it came and it looked like a pamphlet. It was so tiny because I had gotten the wrong size. I didn't know, 5.5 by 8.5 is kind of standard. It's the regular size of a book. But I got a really big one thinking it would be so thick, and it was literally a pamphlet. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? It was so anticlimactic. So I had to redo that. It was all trial and error. And I uploaded it onto Apple because it was everywhere first. I put it on Apple, and I didn't know. I thought they'd choose their own, they chose their own sample. And I put it on there. So for the first 6 months on Apple, the shit was totally free. If you hit the sample, you got the whole book. Because I had no clue. I was just giving it away. I had no clue. Dumb. So dumb. I was so dumb.
Oh, no.
So, but I think maybe that's why. I don't know. They were it's a free book. What? People were talking about it. I don't know why. But all of a sudden, I just remember logging on to my little dashboard. And I was like, wait, how many people bought this book? What is happening? It was crazy. It was wild. And I was like, what's happening right now? I'm a success. I thought it was so cool. Mm-hmm.
So which series?
But it just kept me going from there. So
yeah, no, that's amazing. That's really fascinating. I had no idea you were a professional dancer. Yeah. When I tell people my background, they look at me a little shocked too. So I understand that feeling of yes, this is true. This is a true story. All this has happened. This is my life. So what series was your first series then?
So the first two books were called Come Back to Me and Forever with Me. And listen, it was an amnesia story. Like I was that girl. You know what I mean? Like I came right with it. But then the first series that kind of like made me really land on like the indie map was the Sinful Series. That was a Mafia series with 3 books, Truth, Worship, and Depraved.
Mm-hmm.
And those books are like, I built my entire audience around those books and then put Depraved out and did the thing that everyone says you should not do, because I built an entire audience around Mafia books. I was like, guys, guess what we're going to do? I'm going to write a new adult book. Here we go. And just like flip the script. And everybody was like, okay, this girl, she does all the wrong things. And I was like, this is going to be fun. And then I built a whole entire new audience with the Hillcrest Prep series, like everybody that liked new adult. So that was rad. And then those people were hanging out together. And I was like, what can I give the two of you that sounds fun for you? And I was like, you know what? I'll just do a Romeo and Juliet retelling that's like super angsty and makes you cry, right? Like, let's write an emotional book. And they were like, what are you doing? You stick to a formula? And I was like, I do not. And then right after coming off the success of that, I was like, right after coming off the success of that, I had like 3 different audiences, literally, all standing there looking at me like, the fuck are you gonna give us now? And I was like, we're going rom-com. Is this fun? It's fine. It's right. It's so fun. So nobody's complaining. It's fine.
I'm definitely not complaining because I'm like an hour out of listening to Worship on audiobook. I'm really enjoying those. And I'm not like part of that cheater trope fandom at all. But this is
it's not a cheater. It's not a cheating book.
Yeah, no, it's not. But there's those elements in there and I'm like kind of against them. But then I'm at the same time, I'm like, I fully support this right now because this. Yeah,
well, it's so funny. Like when I put that book out, somebody was like, I remember I got like hit on Goodreads where somebody was like, I picked this book up because I used to have at the bottom it said like, this is not a cheating trope, right? And then somebody was like, I was going to give this book 5 stars, but I'm giving it 1 because the author lied. This is a cheating book. And I was like, whoa, are there different rules that I just don't know about? Like what's happening, right? Because I'm clueless to a lot of book world stuff. I came in very late. I didn't even know there was like a whole book like community out. I had no clue. So like I came in super late. So I was like, oh, so then I took it off. And legitimately 2 weeks later, I got another review that was like, I was going to give this book 5 stars, but I'm giving it 1 because she didn't warn us that it was a cheating trope. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I got like, it was a cheating trope. It wasn't true. I got 2 low reviews, 1-star reviews because somebody was like, it is. And somebody was like, it wasn't. And they're right next to each other. They're like right above each other. And I'm like, if this is not a rock and a hard place, what do I do with this book? So now I don't say anything. I just let people, either love it or hate it. I don't care.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful book. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I'm still out from the end.
Romantic of the 3.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I fucking love Gretchen. So there's that.
I do too. He's dreamy. Like Luca's dreamy. Like the way that they treat each other. He's a dreamy guy. It's definitely the most romantic. And then the third one is not. I mean, it's romantic, but it's in a different kind of way. Mm-hmm. I actually got a message last night, which is funny. We'll immortalize her forever. I got a message last night from a reader, that was about to die on a hill, and it was the funniest. I laughed for like 10 minutes in my bed. Like I was like, I don't even know what to say to this. But they messaged me privately, and they were like, I have a bone to pick with you about Depraved. And I was like, why me? Like, go talk shit to your friends. Like, don't say that to me. Like, I don't want to know, right? And she was like, you said that Dante's a shaved head, and I was like, correct. And she's like, and then he has conditioner. Why? And I was like, and so I wrote back and I go, is this a real conversation? Are you for real? Like, be fucking for real. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, because you're supposed to use like, I have a husband with a shave. Like, you're supposed to use conditioner on your scalp, even when you have a shaved head, especially because it gets really dry. Did you not know that? Like, I don't know. I have to give hair care tips now. Like, I don't understand where we're at in life. Like, what are you asking from me? I don't know what to say to this. And it was the best laugh. I was like, what do you want from me? I was like, you got it right. He has conditioner. What do you want from me? I don't know.
She's all thinking she found a plot hole, and you're like, absolutely not.
Yeah, she was like, plot hole. I was like, basic hair care. What are you doing? Like, reevaluate your life. No, I'm just kidding. It's funny though. It was really funny. I even looked at my husband. I was like, "Am I wrong?" And he's like, "I use it like every other day." What are you talking about? I was like, "Okay, I'm not crazy." He's like, "You're not crazy." I was like, "Okay." But like those are the details. Like, don't overlook them. Somebody will get you.
Right. I mean,
That was
after
funny.
reading some of your books, is there anything at all that makes you blush or like giggle or?
Oh, I can't.
I
Are you
mean,
kidding? I'm the biggest. I can't watch like Magic Mike. I could barely make it through 50 Shades of Grey. I could never watch porn. Like I would, like my whole body would dissolve. I would die. I can't even listen to the audiobooks. Like Truth, Worship, and Depraved, I've never heard the audio. I had to have my editor and alpha listen to them. I can't even hear it. The fact that I have to, at Book Bonanza, I have to sit directly across, like I'm facing the narrator area. I want to crawl inside of my body and die. Like, just put me out of my misery. I want to go into witness protection program. Just let me cancel right now. I cannot even think about the things that I'm making them say. You two read that book. The things that I make, the things that Crew says, the things that I can't, Nate and TJ say, like, I can't even look at Teddy Hamilton. I can't look at Jacob Morgan. I can't look at them. Like, I'm going to be like, I don't know who you are. Like, I'm the biggest baby. I can't do any of it. I can write it dirty, but I can't even read it. I can't, I mean, I read it, but like, I can't do anything else. No, I die. Yeah. I could never go to, like, somebody was like, when we go to Vegas, we should go to like one of those Magic Mike shows. And I was like, I could never. Are you me? No. Nope. I don't want his glistening body anywhere near me. I would die. But yeah. Can't do it, man. I can't do it. Yeah, I'm the biggest baby. Like when I did Troy Duran read all of the Truth, Worship, and Depraved books. And I did a live with him once. And so he was sitting there, and he was like, I'm going to read this to you, and then you translate it. And I knew what he was going to read. It was like, Luca speaks in Italian a lot. And a lot of what he says is pretty dirty. And so Troy was going to say the dirty thing, and he wanted me to translate it. And I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And he was like, no, you got this. And I was like, no, I won't do that. Like, I almost passed out. Like, I couldn't do it. Yeah. So, that's me. Yeah. It's embarrassing. When people find that out, they now come up to me and say, like, the dirtiest, grossest stuff, just to, like, because they know that I'll be like, oh my God, I can't. Like,
You broke me.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Oh.
I mean, I can't even imagine, like, when I'm writing this stuff, I'm always like, yeah, like, I'm all excited because I know that other people are going to enjoy it. But if I have to read it back to somebody,
So, like,
I
when you're...
whisper it, like it's like. I'm not even kidding. Like, I will whisper it. Like, my friends will be like, "Oh, what's the best line?" Or like, "Tell me the line," and I'm like, "I can't." And they're like, "Just say it." I'm like, "Okay, so this is what it said." Like, I can't even say it out loud. You know what I mean? So embarrassing. Look at me, I'm already blushing just thinking about it.
No, I love it. I think it's great. So, like, when you're writing, like, do you ever have to, like, get up during some of these, scenes that you're writing for other people and, like, walk around the room and giggle and stretch your legs and be like, calm down? Or do you ever get flustered? Or...
I mean, not like so I wear these headphones all the time and they cancel out all the noise. But my husband told me that I talk to myself a lot. Like, I say the lines sometimes as I'm writing, but like I'm whispering it, like I'm talking to myself. Because I'm kind of like in it, almost like I'm like in the scene of a movie, like I'm playing each character kind of thing. So I noticed that like when I'm doing it, I'll be like, when I'm doing the guy's role, like I'm always like, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, I'm such a weirdo. I'm saying this out loud now. And like, but I'm like in each character's head, like as I'm like in it or whatever. But when I tell a joke, the shameful part is I laugh. Oh my God, I think I'm so funny. So like when I'm writing stuff, I'll be like, like, and and I keep going. Like, I enjoy my own jokes. Yeah.
That is great, because I'm not that funny of a person. Like, Kristen is super, super witty. I think you're also hilarious. Because like there's so many times reading your books that I've especially not so lucky that I've just laughed out loud and cackled. And I think I'm the funniest person I know. And then I'm like, I'm not funny at all in comparison. Like
I mean,
That
when
book-
I do like the funny, like when I'm writing the banter and stuff, it makes me laugh a whole bunch. So that's kind of fun.
I mean, that was a truly hilarious book. Like,
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever laughed out loud at a book. Well, except Tangled in Tinsel. But like, you know, there's a lot of authors
It's funnier
that try
than
to be
Tangled and
funny.
Tinsel.
it's
I've
so
said that.
much
It's
funny.
funnier than Tangled and
funnier.
Tinsel.
It's so
It
funny.
is. The first, I don't know
Sorry.
what, like 10 chapters, I was just cackling out loud. Thank God everybody on airplanes like wears headphones. Because
That scene where he gets in the car and she's like fighting, like doesn't know who he is, so she's like going down. When I was writing that, I was actually at a Zoom with like a bunch of other authors and we were writing. And so like to keep ourselves like going or whatever. And the way that I was like, I kept having to like stop and like I would be like this and I was crying. Like I was laughing so hard because I could picture it in my head where she's like, throw me back, I'm spoiling meat. Like I gotta go. Like I was crying. And I was like, and they were like, what are you writing? And I was like, I can't right now. Like I'm like, this is so funny. And if it's not, I quit. Like I'll never come back to work. Like I just quit. I'm done. And they were like, we have to read this. And so that whole scene I actually copy pasted into the chat so that they could all just read it, and they were all dying. And I was like, yeah, winner. Like I was like, I did it. I was so happy about it. Yeah.
My favorite
So
part
funny.
about that scene in the book is that she's also like yelling out what she's like what she was taught during her like defensive class. And then she has this like minor thought in her head during this whole ordeal.
She's like, go live.
She's like, wait, am I helping him by doing this?
The whole time I was writing it, I like could totally picture it in my head because I had sat through one of those classes with my youngest kid where they did it with all the school, and they were sitting there like, this is your no-no zone, like the whole deal. And they were talking about like how you fight someone off and how you like, and I just remember they made them like scream out all the like the things, like the 1 through 6 things you're supposed to do if somebody tries to grab you. And so when I was writing it, I was like, oh my God, what if she went to one of these things? And it's just like, sometimes things that you don't even know are stuck in your subconscious, like, boom, it hits you. You know what I mean? And you're like, number 5, wrists. Like, you're just like, in my head, I was like, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. It made me laugh so hard. Yeah.
I have super intrusive thoughts. Like there was a scenario where Chris and I were on checking some things before we called you, and there was something that happened, and so anytime I have these intrusive thoughts, and I travel a bunch for work, so I always go back to Miss Congeniality. Like that is my ride or die. So like during that whole scene, I was like, this is really fucking relatable. Like, yeah, you just start going into what you know. Like,
you just going into what you know. Like it just made me laugh. So like I just kept thinking like this is something I would do maybe. You know what I mean? And as I will tell you that as I wrote this, I didn't think I was writing myself necessarily, but like as I was writing this, like my betas and alpha, my editor, all at the end of it, they were like, you know, you wrote yourself, right? Like that's your humor. Like those are your jokes. That I could hear your voice the whole time I was reading it. And I was like, I did not write myself. And they're like, she's even a Gemini, dummy. And I was like, oh,
I'm
fuck.
just gonna say that. I was just gonna
I
say
wrote
that.
myself. Like, it's like, so last time I remember seeing like, I mean, reviews are not for me. So when I see like, you know, people are like, I hate this book, I'm like, scroll. But like, I remember a couple of times, like it would show my FYP where people were like, I don't know how anyone loved this heroine. I hated Samantha. She was so annoying. And I would laugh and I would just like kind of keep scrolling or whatever. You don't have to like her, like whatever, it's a book. But I was telling my husband, I go, I feel like when I see this one and they're like, she's so annoying, I'm going to be like, bitch, what are you talking about?
This is personal.
But I
now.
mean, honestly, fair. It's fair. It's fine. I will just keep scrolling. I will never, ever. We already had that with an author. So don't worry about me.
I was literally just about to ask where you get your inspiration for your female characters, because I love them.
Thank you.
They're
Thank you.
written so differently than like so many other female characters.
Yeah, I try to write them like real people.
Yeah,
That would be my one.
well-rounded.
I mean, I will have to say that would be like my one, as someone who's an avid romance reader, that would be the thing that I dislike the most about the romance genre sometimes, is that she's mousy and like she wears her hair in a ponytail. Um, I'm not pretty, but all my friends say that I'm gorgeous. I'm just waiting for him to tell me I'm pretty, and then I am pretty. Do you know what I mean? Like now I've really blossomed into who I am. And I don't think women are that way. You know what I mean? Like I think that we are fully formed, and you have to be our equal for us to like you. And so, yeah, that's how I approach them. Like a lot, like my friends and my sister and like my mom. Like I don't know women who are like, I just want hair in a ponytail because I just, I'm just trying to blend in. I don't know women like that, so I don't write them like that. I also don't know women that are like, I am ashamed of my sexuality either. Like I don't know any women like that either. So I like my girls to like be completely in charge of who they are sexually and have zero. There's nothing to apologize for, And I don't think that a lot of, unless you're talking about like the fun degradation that we all love, but other than that, I don't actually ever in any of my books refer to girls in a poor way from any of the heroes ever.
Yeah.
I call them sluts and whores. I call the guys sluts and whores. I flip it, but I only do it in like the fun way if we're going to use it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was actually my next question, and I think you've already answered this beautifully. It was, your female characters are not only boss bitches, but they're promiscuous. And I really appreciate that. And I was kind of curious of what drove you to portray your females to having like a roster all their own, because that's not something you get in a lot of romance books. They're like, they don't know what they want, and they're trying to like sexually and like all this stuff, but your characters are like, this is how I am, this is what I do.
Well, I think that for a long time that was something that was relatable to women, right? Like they didn't know what they wanted because we weren't allowed to want things. So for so many years and for so many generations, like my generation and above, that is the most relatable thing. Like the woman who comes in and wants to teach me trope, or like somebody to take a strong hand or whatever. That's their version of like the fantasy, because they've never been allowed to really explore, or, there was always this kind of like relegated personality you were allowed to have around sex as a woman. And you were never allowed to just be who you wanted to be and do what you wanted to do without any judgment. And so, it was like a guy could be a super whore, but you had to, have like sleep with less than, the amount of fingers on your hand. You know what I mean? Like you had to be like if you had like 5 partners in your lifetime before you met your husband, it was like, oh, don't say that out loud. Like I remember days like that. And I think that was what people read, because the fantasy was that they're in this marriage in real life where they're with their partner, but they're still in these like societal constructs that we've made for women, like these barriers. And then what they were wishing and what the fantasy was is that this really handsome billionaire would come in and, take a strong hand, right? And let you explore and like live outside of the norm. And that was awesome. And I think that's still awesome. Like shout out Christian Grey, but I think that my audience tends to be like 18 to 35. And when I grew up, I was like definitely the outsider. Like I've never made apologies for my life. I've also never been judged. Like, I don't know if I was judged for it. I don't think anyone was brave enough to say that shit to my face, but like, I definitely just did what I wanted to do, and I made no apologies for it. Like, I'm an actual person. I can just make my own choices. Like, thanks so much. And all my girlfriends, I mean, like one of my very best girlfriends has a dope ass roster. She's like, Tuesday night, where's he at? Waiting, Sam. Like, she doesn't want to be tied down. And I love that about her. And she makes no apologies for it. She's not trying to catch feelings. She's just like, we're good. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Why not? Like, whatever. They're consenting adults, So I just decided I was not going to do that anymore. And I think that younger generations now, women don't want to be put in those constructs anymore. And I don't want to have people that they're reading look like that anymore. I want them to look like what they look like. I like to represent like myself, my friends, like the women, the things that I have around me. Like I've always been raised in like a strong matriarchal family. My husband had sisters, so like he bows down to women. Like he's like, I love it. Like get yours. Like there is no glass ceiling for you. Like it is like it is feminism all day in this house. You know what I mean? So I want to write women who do that same thing. Like they do what they want, and there aren't any apologies or explanations to make about that.
Well, I appreciate it.
I also love that they're I also love that they're like older, like they're in 30 years old. Usually women are written at like they're almost out of their prime at 23, and you're like, guys, life doesn't stop at 25. So
dude, I was so dumb. Like so dumb at 23. I don't know what lessons I could teach anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a good time. Don't get me wrong.
Preach, girl.
It was a good time.
Preach.
Good time. But like I had nothing to offer. I think girls at 22 have more to offer than I did at 22 now. Like because I was just like wilding out. Like it was bad news bears. But you know, but I just want to like I think there's a whole aspect of women that like they're women that are in their 30s and they're, you know, 30, they're 35, 28. Like there's other ages than like 18, 22, and, you know, 50. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. But like, I mean, most books are written with girls that are, you know, the female lead is like, if she's 21, she might as well go start crocheting. You know what I mean? And like prepare for death.
Yeah, she's a spinster.
Dude, for real, your pussy's dried up, you're done. Like, it's not, I don't know why they do that, though. You know what I mean? With her ponytail, she's like, I gotta go put the ponytail back in. No longer beautiful. Like, I don't understand why they do that. So, like, I don't.
Yeah. Or, like, do your kids know what types of books you write? Or are you nervous to find them one day? Oh.
No, they all know. They're super proud of me. Like, I mean, I have ranges of ages. So like from 9 to like 16, right? The 16-year-old knows everything. I mean, let's be real. She's 16. Like half the shit I've written about probably happened in the bathroom at her school. Like they're nasty nowadays. So like they do them.
Fact.
But like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be like, do you know about the birds and the bees? And she's like, somebody was giving head in the bathroom. You know, like, okay. So the 12-year-old doesn't, you know, he knows about the stuff that what I say usually is like I write about love because I do. It comes in all different forms. I write about love. I'm like, and you know, people kiss and hold hands a lot in my books. You don't need to see that, you know. But as he gets older, he'll find out that they do more than hold hands, right? And then, because it'll just be an obvious, you know. And the 9-year-old, she's like, oh, those books about kissing, gross, you know. But they're all very proud of me. Like they go to school and tell their teachers about that I'm this, that, or the other, and like how cool their mom is. Like they're all really proud of me.
Oh,
yeah,
that's amazing.
Well, because I don't think there's anything dirty about what I do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people make jokes and like correlations to like, oh, this is like lady porn and the whole deal. I don't think that it is actually. I think it's different. Like, I think when you're reading a book or listening to an audio or whatever, and you're reading these stories, I think intrinsically, sex and love are tied for women in a way in which they are not tied for men. Maybe because we welcome people into our bodies. Like it's a whole different kind of like area of vulnerability, right? But I think that sex and love are connected, and there has to be some kind of connection. And the things that we like the best about the books, yes, we like those scenes, but we also, there's a plethora of things that we like in these books that have nothing to do with the actual act itself. It's like he does something sweet, he remembers something. Like when Crew takes her to the movie theater, and we all know that it's a date, but he's like bartering for the pickup truck. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody's gonna be like, "That's so cute," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like there are things that we like in these books that, you know, that have nothing to do with the sexual aspect. Like it's like this connection, and like my favorite scene in that book is when they're sitting on the rooftop having the conversation. Like it's so intimate and connected and like so real between two people that I love things like that. And so I don't think you don't get that in porn. If you've ever seen porn, that doesn't happen. So
no. No.
I mean, even in Tangled and Tinsel, like I loved the scene where Alex shows her the sunset, or like when Jay snuck into the bathroom and was like, "You made cookies." Like those are like those cute little scenes. I'm like looking to see if there's a hawk. I'm not even kidding right now when I say that I'm obsessed with these birds outside. Like there are things like that that we all love about these books. So I don't think to reduce it down to just, I mean, I'm fine calling it porn. Like it's like, but I think we all do like a little wink because it's not the same. It's definitely not the same.
No. There's different type of intimacy that you've written into these scenes outside of the actual sexual intimacy side. There's emotional intimacy still there. And I loved on the roof, you brought Gimme back from Tangled. But it was about a beer this time. And I loved it.
Yeah, I think that Cru's word is come here. Like that's my
Mhm.
favorite. When he says come here, I like it when he says come here. But everybody was like, I put a poll up on my Instagram with like, do you want me to use gimme again? Because I would love to trademark it as my word. Not that you can trademark it. I'm not trying to do that. But you know what I mean? Like I want it to be my word, right? Where when you hear the word gimme, you're like Trilina, right? And so I was like, should I use it again? But it really feels like Reed's word to me. But like that's the only book he's gonna get. So like, what do I do? Then it's just dead forever. Like that's sad. So I was like, I'm gonna use it again, but in a way that everybody will be able to cheer, like, yeah, even though it's just for a beer. Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
I know I have the sweatshirt on right now. Like,
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that word. But that was like a real story that happened to me. So I just used it.
Are you gonna bring back because they're sold out on your site right now, the sleep shirts with gimme on it?
Oh my God, we sold the manufacturer out.
Oh wow.
Like I'm waiting for them to get more product in just so they can make it. Because I sold them out, like out. And they've been waiting for months because it takes, I guess shipping is like crazy right now.
Yeah.
They've been waiting for months to get their product in just to make me more. But yes, I'm going to try to bring it back.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen, spoiler. This is why I asked for your address yesterday because that was your gift. but it sold out. And I was like, damn it.
Dude, it sold out the first round sold out in like 48 hours. And then they had more product in their backset, so they brought it in. And then I worked with like another manufacturer trying to get it through, but I'm only allowed to have so many. It's been wild. So many people wanted those t-shirts. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Reed has really ruined that word for me. I cannot hear anybody else say that word. And like, it always takes me right back to it.
I know. It's really good.
That's just...
it's a good word. Yeah. He's a delicious character. He's my favorite.
Love
yeah.
Reed.
He's my favorite.
I gotta move on from the gimme word, y'all, because my head is going straight to the gutter.
I know. I'm hoping everybody likes come here, but I didn't use it as much, but like I didn't use it as much because I was like, I'll just get stuck with all these like words I'll have to be using all the time.
Come here. Every time like I read the come here portion, gimme was playful and fun, which is Tangled in Tinsel. And then the come here, I like every time I read it in my mind, the tone was more like guttural and like, it was like,
yeah, but that's how he is though.
Yes.
Like that's Cru is way dirtier than those boys are. Like all four of them. I love the Tangled and Tinsel boys, but Cru is dirtier than those boys.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were talking about one particular
we all know what scene I'm talking about. Yes, exactly.
We did. Kristen and I were talking
so
about
dirty.
it yesterday.
Oh, I'm gonna die. I know. I like the way that when that sound on TikTok is like the hose is gonna love this. You know, just like when I wrote that, I was like, ooh, because I was blushing so hard. And then I called my PA, Serena, and I was like, I just wrote something, and I don't know if it's like foul or like foul. Like, I don't know which. And she was like, read it to me. And I was like, no, like I'll send it. You read it and you get back to me. I was like, because I feel like I either crossed a line that people are going to be like, ugh, or they're going to be like slow clap standing ovation. I don't know which one. And she was like, okay. So then she reads it and she just sends me a video of herself standing up like, and I was crying laughing. I was like, oh man, this is so dirty. So I hope people like it.
I was like, I read that and I was like, God damn, all right, here we are, here we go, and okay.
That's right. Yeah. Listen, I had to come up with here's the thing, and this is the hardest part about writing Not So Lucky, is that coming off of the success of Tangled and Tinsel felt very daunting. Like, full disclosure, like real vulnerable moment. Like, I was super scared to write Not So Lucky because the way, how do you beat a book that went #1? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I just spit on myself and I did that. Like, how do you beat that? Like, it is so. People are they are all about that book. People still love it. They read it constantly now. It's not even Christmas, and they're like, "Merry Christmas" to me. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? How do I even meet that mark? Because that was what was scary. Like, each book you try to best yourself, but I was like, I don't think I could do better. Like, I got to be funnier. It has to be hotter. And it's not a white shoes. And everyone came for Tangled and Tinsel because it was a white shoes. Are they going to automatically be disappointed because Not So Lucky isn't a white shoes? You know? So it was like really scary, but I feel like you have to tell the story that's in your head. That's all I can do. And so I sat down to write it and I was so nervous. And as I was writing it, I was like, this is going to flop. It's going to flop. Everybody's going to hate me. Like the amount of hand holding, like everybody was like, you've got this. You're the best. I was like, oh shit. Okay. Like I was so nervous. So when I finished it, I was like, listen, I finished a book. I like it a lot. If people don't like it, if it doesn't do as good, that's okay. If people do like it, that's great. Because it's just what I do for a living. It's not a big deal. It's just a book to have fun. You know what I mean? Like, fine. So I just, I've made my peace.
If we've learned anything from reading 1-star reviews, it's that for some people it's too spicy, other people it's not spicy enough. Some has too much, storyline to it, not enough storyline. We actually do a series where we read 1-star reviews and laugh at people for leaving a 1-star review.
I don't mind them, like, because I feel like, and that's what's funny to me is like when you look through and there's been, a little bit of controversy with authors from trad to indie, like losing their mind about like, anywhere from like 4 to 1-star reviews, right? And so silly. But like, the reviews are none of my business. I fully believe that. Like my only job is to write the book. I write the story that's in my head and I put it out there. And if people don't like it, then they can talk about that. But that's none of my business. It doesn't make me a better writer. It doesn't make me, I don't look at them and read them and go, how can I better myself? That would just be me writing to market. Like if I start thinking about what everybody writes, I'll never write a book. It's paralyzing because nobody ever likes the same stuff. It's all subjective. So you just have to write the story that's in your head. After that, I just go on about my merry way and live in a bubble of I'm fucking amazing. Like that's it. So like every once in a while, but when 1-star reviews are super important because if you hate my book, everyone that reads stuff that likes your reviews or reads like you, then avoids my book. Thank you. I don't want any more of those. Go ahead and go. I don't want you to read my book. You didn't like it. She didn't like it. Go. So like I think they're all super important.
Yeah.
You have to have that range so that you attract the right audience to what you do and who appreciates what you're writing. So
I
don't mind reviews. They don't bother me.
That attitude is phenomenal.
It's super important though. Like, and I will tell you that the only time I ever engage with a reader about my reviews is if they tag me. And I've made that so obvious. I've said it 100 times. If you call me, I will come. Don't tag me and I won't come. Like, if you call me, I will come. Because I had a couple people like tag me asking me a question. They were like, I rated this book 3 stars because it didn't have a plot. Author Trilina Pucci, why didn't you put more plot? And I was like, did you just call my name? Did you want me to come to this party? Are you, what? Okay. So like I showed up and I was like, here's why. And I just answered their question for them. Then the post went away somehow. So like, I don't know. But don't call me and I will, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's different. That's different. But otherwise, it's none of my business. People should just be able to be like, I fucking hated it. It's trash. Do you, man? I don't care. Or I loved it. It was fucking divine. You know what I mean? That too.
So, what are some of your favorite quotes from Not So Lucky? Besides some of the ones that you've shared already, like on your Instagram.
Well,
we won't make you say some of those out loud, okay?
Yeah. I mean, the Vegas is for catching and not crushes is my very favorite quote.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was so funny and clever when I came up with it. I really liked that she called them the TJ and Nate the Tweedles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then actually I just got this morning. I was drinking coffee and now I'm drinking milk like a psycho. But it says Team Tweedles on it. Can you see that?
Yep.
And it has the Niners logo on the front.
I love it.
That's so funny. I got that as a birthday present actually for my alpha. So I was really excited about that. So I love that.
I love all the nicknames in the books, all the spins on the names in general in the books, like all the ones for Eleanor. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I am here for them.
Yeah. My best friend and I do that to each other, and I notoriously nickname people. So in my phone, if you look through, like everyone has a nickname. So like even my kids, like everybody kind of has a nickname. So if you were looking through trying to find somebody's name, you're screwed because like it's it's just like nickname. Like my mom is named Comfort Blanket because that's who she is. Like I have like just the craziest amount of like things in there. So when we were doing this, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make them nickname people. Like I love that she calls the guy at the motel like Check-in Charlie and like Lobby Larry. Like that makes like, you know. I'm trying to think of what. I'm trying to think of the different scenes. I feel like I blacked out. Like I never wrote it. Like, well, what's in the book? I don't even remember. I'm like, I don't know.
Can I read
I honestly
one of my
don't know. I'm about to make one. Yes, do it.
Okay, yeah. So I have like 3 that like compete for the top. So I'll save my favorite for last. But
Okay.
you know, the first one's a little
Go ahead.
spicy,
It's
but
okay.
it's
I'll close my eyes.
I'll close my eyes.
I'll look through one finger. Yeah.
I'm the definition of hate his face, but I'll still on it.
Oh yeah, yep. I love it.
Love that one. I was
quote.
like, yep, because we've all been, even like with our significant others. Like I've been in a really long relationship. We've been together 7 years, and we've known each other since childhood. And there's so many times where I'm like, oh, I can't stand you, but hey, how you doing, sir? Like,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. That was a real life quote, by the way. That's a quote that I've said about my husband to my best friend. Like I've said, oh, he's so fucking annoying today. Like I hate his face, but I still saw him. You know what I mean? And she's like, like, and we all laugh about it.
yes. And then
Shout out Anthony.
and then my one, I loved how it's she says, she's talking to Nate, one of the Tweedles. Come on now, Nate. I am the daddy. Like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. She is daddy. Like, stop it. She is daddy. I love her.
And my all-time favorite, because I think it's super relatable just in like every aspect of life for me, is there isn't a person in the world that needs more than an hour with me to know that I am not available to babysit anybody's audacity. And I am like, fucking snaps. Like, yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you made me think of a couple. So I like when she's in the tent, when he comes to get her, like they're in the cabana.
Mm-hmm.
And when he says they're having the back and forth and she's like, you're not my daddy either. Like, I like that quote. Like, I like that pushback. And then she turns out to be wrong, so that's fine. And then that was the important part. And then I liked the Olympic one when I talked about how, and I can't remember the quote like off the top of my head. I mean, I wrote it, but I can't. It's not in there verbatim anymore. But when she says if smelling like sex and like just Olympic sport, that she would have a gold medal.
Yes.
Yes.
That made me laugh too.
I really loved, what was it, like 2 pages of Taylor Swift references, one after another, when the Sam and Millie are texting back and forth. And oh my God, that was beautiful.
Just, I mean, you have Lord of the Rings, you have Star Wars, you've got Friends, you've got 90s rom-coms, you got horror films, you even have serial killer, like all this pop culture reference. I was like writing them down as I was going, like, holy shit, this goes for days. And the beautiful thing is that I fucking got every single one of I know what that's from. Like, they're like top notch.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and like I mean,
I tried to pick the ones that were like really, like they're out, like everybody would know them. Or if you were a big fan of that, like the Star Wars one. I'm not a big Star Wars fan. Like Star Wars is my thing, but I promised a Star Wars reference because of somebody's husband who read me and did this like big review, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever because he was like, "Well, they're not lightsabers, but it was still a really good book." Like it was very funny. Like he read it for his wife. He did Tangled and Tinsel. He read Tangled and Tinsel for his wife. And he did this big, huge review, and it just knocked me on my socks. I laughed forever, and I thought it was so funny. And he was also like, this girl is so funny. And, you know, I love when husbands or men read my books, and they go out of their way to say how funny I am. Because, you know, we always get that a lot from men, that, like, women aren't funny, right? Like, fuck you, I'm hella funny. Like, so it's like, so it's awesome. And I loved it when he was like, she's so funny. I was laughing so hard, blah, blah, blah. And so I loved that. And I promised him, I engaged in his review, but in a positive way. But I engaged and I was like, thanks so much. This is so funny, like blah, blah, blah. And he was like, will you like will you promise me a Star Wars reference? And I was like, I'll do you one better. I will give you an early copy of the book, and I will put in a Star Wars reference just for you.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, he was so excited. So, yeah. So that was for him.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I thought it was cute that he read it for his wife. He tries to read books for his wife because this is what she's into. She likes romance books. And so he tries to read them for her to be able to have conversations and engage with her and like study up. I was like, good job, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Cute.
It's very attractive.
Isn't that cute? Yeah, I thought it was really cute. Yeah. I was like, good job, buddy. So I can't wait for, I think his name was Matt. I don't remember, but I can't wait for Matt's review for Not So Lucky.
Now I'm going to be looking
I just
for
think
it.
back to the scene. Like, I just keep back to that one scene. Like, when he reads it, I'm like, what's Matt going to say? Okay, yeah.
He's going to be like, wife, I need some clarification on this. How do we feel about this?
Some things are like, read only, not experience. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine. I want to be kidnapped in a book, not in real life, you know? Like, so it's cool. It's cool. I'm dying. I just can't. Like, I just know that that's going to be all over TikTok, and I'm just going to, like, have to bury myself in, like, a shallow grave because I won't even be able to log on to social media for, like, 45 days. So embarrassing. I can't. You're all welcome. Oh, I'm glad though it had the effect that I was hoping it would have. Yeah.
Yeah. You achieved it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, he had to have his own spotlight, right? Like, I was competing against 4 dudes before. Now it's like he's like the single lone wolf, and I was like, man, Brew, we got a burden, buddy. You gotta really bring it. So,
got a burden.
he had to pull out all the stops. Like, his back is hurting. You know what I mean? Like, he was carrying it all on his back.
Well, see, I thought his back was hurting for another reason, but
It might be. It might be.
Based on all
But I
the
like
action,
love TJ and Nate. Well, I love TJ and Nate in that book too, but like I knew that it wasn't going to be a Y2s, and so I hope that when you guys read it, you felt like this is a story about Crew and Eleanor, that it really is her plus him and sometimes them. Like that's what I wanted people to feel like.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was good.
And they like, had to find this balance between like having a relationship with TJ and Nate that felt like flirtatious, but also could like transition into like brother sister. You know what I mean? Like where they treat it like a sister.
Yep.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes for the next book.
Have you announced the next book yet?
No.
All right.
No, but there is another one after this.
Yeah.
I was hoping this.
It'll be the
series
last.
was
It's the
never gonna
last one in
end.
this. I know it's the last one in the series too.
Yeah, I was trying to think about Kristen Sash.
Wait, is this live or does this air at a certain time?
This will air at a certain time, and I can edit. So if there's a portion you would like to say, I can always.
Do you know when you guys are going to air this?
I will edit tonight, and I was thinking about publishing it tomorrow morning. I was going to talk to Chris. Normally, I publish it right after, but I normally.
then I can't say anything.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, if there's anything that's said that needs to be edited out, you could say edit, say what you
No, you're
want,
fine.
edit, and
I don't think that there are any spoilers in this book. I think any of the spoilers kind of sells it. Like if I'm like,
yeah,
he spits in her mouth, guys. Everybody's like signing up. Like
Sign me up.
we know what we're all reading. Like these books are fun for the summer, fun for like these aren't like I said it before with the other book, and I say it for this one. Like it's not supposed to change your life, but it might change your night. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like at the end of the book, I was like, if she writes another one, who's it gonna be about? And I can't quite figure it out. So I don't want spoilers because I'm curious about what direction you're going with it based on the ending of Not So Lucky.
yeah, that's exactly what I wanted.
Cool.
For everyone to have lots of questions.
Achieved.
Yeah.
Because I have the questions. I'm also like super analytical, so I'm always like, where is this? And so like I like went back this morning, I was like, lucky numbers. Okay, I understand 2 of them. Where are the other ones at? And I was trying to do my homework on the lucky numbers.
Yes, the lucky numbers. The numbers mean something.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'll say. I don't think it's like a spoiler. I think people could just know. Like, I'm not sure if everybody would connect the dots, but let's see. What was it? I know it's 22 is his number.
22 is his number. 4,
Yeah.
4th of July party.
4th of July. 4/7 is this July 4th.
Yep. The only
then-
one I had
So,
a hard time with was the 30.
30 days.
Yeah,
They
I
were stuck
can see that
together for
one.
30 days.
Duh. Damn.
Oh, so obvious, and I never got that one.
All the other ones I was like, got it. Totally got it.
And I was gonna have her figure it out, but then I was like, no, because no one would ever put that together. Like, let's have it be like a little magical thing in the background where it was like those were really her lucky numbers, you know?
Mhm.
So
I
yeah,
love that.
30 days, 22 is his number, and then 4/7. Yeah.
Yep.
And then after we're off camera, I'll tell you something really fun,
Okay.
but I can't tell anybody else.
Okay.
So
We'll
yeah.
I'll let you know when we stop
But
recording.
what I can tell you is what you guys didn't get in your ebook, because those were like kind of like the arcs are going. What goes not
Yeah.
in the final print, there is a creator on Instagram and on TikTok named Mama Loves Slow. I'm going to get this wrong. I'm such a jerk. I don't mean to get it wrong. I just have a terrible memory. Like Mama Loves Slow Carb. Like, so she makes like slow carb. She does recipes.
Oh.
Her name's Brianna. And she read Tangled and Tinsel and was just so sweet to me and dropped in my DMs, which if anyone knows on Instagram, if you want to talk to me personally, just jump into my DMs. I answer everybody. So we had a conversation going. We were just like kind of jiving and I loved her and she was so funny. And I looked at her recipes and I was like, oh my gosh, she does all this like carb free, like do like kind of keto friendly or like whatever, but she does like slow cooking and stuff like that, like the pot, like what's it called? Like the crock-pot stuff.
Yeah.
She does a lot of that stuff and like other stuff, and she uploads her videos onto TikTok and like she's very popular there and stuff, and on Instagram. But I was like, how neat, right? Like I love food, and so we started talking. And in this book, they go to the Rhino for chicken wings, which by the way, it was a real thing back in the day. The Rhino was known for having the best chicken wings. Don't ask me how I know that. Grew up in Vegas. If you know, you know. So they did. So a late night partying, everybody would end up at the Spirit Rhino, which is a strip club, and nobody was there for the girls. We were just there literally to go into the back VIP room to order chicken wings. It's the weirdest thing ever, but stranger things happen in Las Vegas. So anyway, I was talking to her about chicken wings, and she made us our own chicken wings. So the recipe is going to go in the back of their book, for like when they goes out to Mac Public. So she'll have her recipe in the
My
back. So I think that's
God.
cool. Yeah, and they're good. I made them.
Amazing.
Oh, they're so good. So I just thought it was so neat to have that little thing. Like you can have your own Rhino spicy sweet stripper wings in the back.
Nice. I will.
That is such a fantastic addition.
Isn't that fun? I think that's
Yeah.
fun. The other thing that I'll tell you after we're done recording, you guys are going to lose your minds about, but
Okay.
people just have to figure it out.
I want, if you could send me her handle for her
Yeah,
page.
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
make sure to
I will.
add her to the show notes and the description and everything to make sure people know to look
Oh,
out for
yeah.
it. So,
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
yeah, awesome. So actually, these cute little gems that, this recipe that's going to be in the back of the release version of Not So Lucky, but you also have hilarious jingles and song renditions in both your books. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is super unique. Like, I haven't read a book that does something like this. And I mean, what drove you to do those? Because they're freaking excellent, too.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. Like, I don't know. Like, it just kind of came along with the book, like the ideas for them and like the funny things like that I would come up with for like promoting and marketing the book.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So funny. So funny.
Thank you. Picking the subtitles are always the most fun for the book. Like the little for each chapter, like the subtitles for each chapter. That's actually my favorite part. But like, yeah, we do come up with like some fun jingles and things that go along with each of these. I think it's just the idea, like it's like the package of comedy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like every aspect of like from marketing to like when you're reading it, the way that like even the inside when you're reading the print, like I want it to all feel fun because that's what it is. It's just a fun time. Like when I sat down to write rom-coms, I know that there's a structure to writing a rom-com, like writing a romantic comedy and the whole deal. And I kind of bucked that structure a little bit. But I really wanted to do something that felt special to me. You know what I mean? And also just felt like a good time. Like I wanted every one of these books to feel kind of like a party for everyone. Like we all just got together and could hang out and like have a good party.
Yeah.
And then everyone could go back to fighting and being miserable later. But like right now, we can all just like have a good time. That's what it felt like for Christmas. Cause like the holidays are always like, people are always complaining about like, you know, the stuff they have to do with their families and how exhausting that is and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure that was just, we had like a break, a reprieve. And for summer, you know, a lot of my audience, or at least some of them, have like children home from school. And that can be daunting. Like, it's fun. We love them. But like, you're like it's tiring. So I wanted everyone to have that, you know, reprieve again. And if you're just like, you know, home from school, you want to just like not think about your finals from college, like I got you. You want to just like not think about work that day, I got you. Like I just try to offer a little reprieve with these books, that's all.
All right, this might be a tough question, but out of the 7 boys, 7, right, from Tangled in Tinsel to Not So Lucky, out of all 7 boys, do you have a favorite?
Oh, that is the worst question you can ask me ever. Because my favorite boy is always the one that I'm currently writing. Always. Yes. I'm a fickle hoe. You know what I mean? Like I love you when I'm like, when you're in sight and mind, I'm like, you my favorite boo, right? But then when you're done, I'm like, who are you? New phone, who this? Like, I don't know you anymore. And people are like, Cole. I'm like, who? Like, you know, Reed. Huh? Like, I don't know any of them anymore. Jace is my favorite. What does he look like? Like, I don't remember. So Crew, I was like, Crew. Like, I was like, he's my dream man. Like, I want to marry him one day. Sorry, Anthony. Like, we're going to combine our families. Like, I was in love. And then, of course, TJ and Nate. I was like, yum. Right? But now I'm writing someone new that I can't talk about.
Yeah.
And he's my favorite.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't writing him, it would be Crew. For sure. Because I think he's like smoking hot. I mean, he's like super rich. He's built. Like, he's broody. He hits people in faces with footballs. Like, who doesn't like that? Are you joking? Like, I'm here for it. Murder me. Put me in a coma. Yeah, like, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know who Ash Nico is? She's a musical artist, and one of the things that you just said, like, text me who this. She has a line in her song of one of her songs about someone texting her, and she's like, I don't know who this is. I deleted your number, kind of thing. And my mind went straight to that. And then I was like, man, that song actually is like really fitting for like this in general. Yeah, she's pretty. She's very feminist in her music, and it's really dirty and fun.
Oh, I'll have to go listen to it. Maybe I can do one little edition of a new before arcs and everything go out. Yeah, I'll add it, to the playlist. Yeah, for sure.
I'll shoot you the name of I'll figure out, because I'm a big fan of hers and she's got some good ones, but I'll find what song, the name of that song. I'll shoot it over to you in IG.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. I love that. Because I'm a big fan of music anyway, so like I just like collect all these. It's hard making a playlist because there were so many songs. I must have had like 70 songs on the playlist, but I had to find the ones that were like the most Vegas-y, because some of them were just not even about Vegas. They just were, it's songs that I love to hear.
Yeah.
Like, I can't put Pony by Genuine on every single playlist. You know what I mean? But, like, is it my go-to song? It's absolutely my go-to song. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Or, like, old school Jodeci, where it's like, don't talk, just listen. I'm like, like, I get down on some 90s R&B. But, I can't put all that in all the time.
Heck yeah. Oh, my face hurts, Trilina. Thanks so much for that.
Yeah, my cheeks are.
It was fun. Thanks for having me again. This is a lot. Sometimes people ask me like the scariest questions, and this was super fun. So I'm glad.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear that.
We're just sitting here wishing your boys were real, your characters were real.
Same.
But just
No
as a
offense,
reminder,
Anthony.
you can get her book. You can get her book Not So Lucky. It comes out on July 3rd. You can get it on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Barnes & Noble, and then Walmart and Target after.
And while you're there checking out Not So Lucky, check out all of her other spine-tingling stories as well. Thank you so much, Trilina, for joining us in our room today so we could talk about all of your characters, from the sweet and greedy Reed to the sexy and arrogant Matthews to the brooding and deadly King twins. Each and every one of your characters has left us purring, "Gimme," and a reminder to all of our roommates that Vegas is for catching cocks, not crushes.